Hello, Joe from Joe K Models here. Putting on the decals right now, and I thought it might be a good time just to kind of show you what I was up to. So when I do the decals, I like to work from the bigger things like the roundels to the smaller things, the stencils, last. And the reason that I do that is the roundels or the bigger decals, they take up more space, and also you might have stencils that are on top of them. Some of them can be written across other decals. So I typically work from biggest to smallest. So I'm gonna finish doing these roundels, and then I'm gonna go probably to the strips, the black strips that are gonna go on the side of the wing. And then from there I'm gonna start working on the smaller stencils. There's not a whole lot of stencils. I'll kind of show you just on the side there. So there's only a couple. You got the roundel, you got the number there, a couple smaller ones. So it's not too bad. Like the bottom here, there were only 4 decals. 2 of the stars, roundels, and then back there was 2 no steps on those trims there. So not too many decals, and basically what I'm doing here is I started off using micro set to lay them down, but I just started using water to put them down. So just some warm water to get the decal off. Then I basically take a brush, and this brush has been specifically devoted to this process on all of my models, and I just get an area around where it's going to go wet. And then using the diagram, I just get it as close as I can when it comes off, making sure that it comes off nice and easy. Luckily, these are pretty thin, so there's no issues with getting them off the carrier film. And then just doing some micro movements to get it to where it needs to be. Now, once I have it to where it needs to be, I take a cotton bud here, and I just basically start rolling. Once it starts to set, I'll take this, and this is going to get the water out. Also, I'm going to be rolling it. I'm not like pushing it, I'm just rolling it softly at first, and then as it starts to set, a little bit more firm. And then, that's going to get all of the air bubbles out. It's going to get the water that's underneath out that you help set it, and it's also going to flatten it on there. Once it's pretty much dry and it looks like it's started to adhere, you might catch a little bit of it maybe going into the panel line. That's a good time to go ahead and hit it with some microsol. And so just water and then microsol. And what this does is this softens the decals and it gets it to conform. So once it's on there, I take this brush here, dip it in some microsol, and then I just paint on the decal. And the reason why I'm being very careful to make sure that it just stays on there is I don't want this stuff running and going through the model. I've had issues in the past where it may affect the protective clear coat. So I get it and I don't flood it, I just get it maybe kind of damp, and then almost like I'm painting it on, like for real. So I do that, I get 1 or 2 layers on there. Once I start to see it go down, I'll take a fresh new number 11 blade and just not pushing in, not scraping up paintwork or, cutting through decals, just very lightly running this along the panel line using the weight of the knife and no force. And then when you're doing weathering, that's going to make a nice effect because you're going to see that line, you're going to maybe be able to get some of that panel line wash in there. And it's going to look really sharp. It's not going to look like a sticker or a decal. It's going to look like part of the plane, like it was painted on. So that's what the goal of that is. Once I get it into that position, 1 or 2 coats, or however many it takes. Different decals will do different things, but after that you're pretty much good to go. I will let this dry. Once I have all of the decals in place, I'll take a like a moist cloth and I will wipe down the model with just some water, just to get any kind of you know, adhesion products or anything off of the plane. That way when I do the clear coat over this, you're not going to have any weird effects going on. So I'm going to continue doing this. Wanted to tell you what my process was for that. And as you can see, I mean, now that these are starting to go on, it's starting to take on a little bit of life. Just kind of want to show you what it looks like. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be unique. So just kind of excited to get the rest of these decals on, and I'll touch base once I move on to the next step. So thanks for watching. Joe from Joe K Models.